Let me see. Perfect. I think we're live right now. Let me make sure that we're on. All right, let me clear this up. Yeah, I believe so. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another live stream. Hope everyone is doing amazing. I'm here with the man himself, the Hexicano, the Hexican. Say welcome, everybody, brother. Hope everyone's doing great, guys, once again. And today, guys, is the Hex Daytona 500 official live stream. We're starting it off with this hashtag specifically because today we had JJ Yelly go ahead and test out the Hex.com 55 car, and it was running smooth. I know everybody saw it on Twitter. You had to have checked it out if you were watching NASCAR practices today, and everything looked really, really well, man. I'm really excited for this time in our marketing efforts. Honestly, guys, this is the moment where we can probably see a lot of new volume coming into Hex because of the marketing efforts that the overall community is putting in. JJ Yelly, yeah, JJ Yelly. Yeah, I actually saw that. So let's talk about that. I think I retweeted it. I quote, I believe I quote tweeted it. It's pretty sick, bro. I mean, honestly, man. So check it out right here. It's Overwatch Partners, owner Rakam Rochelle is challenging JJ Yelly 1. Finish top 3 in Daytona 500 on Sunday and receive a $1 million crypto bonus. It's crazy, bro. It's absolutely crazy. What's up, King Hex? Hope you're doing well, man. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, bro. This looks sick. Yeah, Rakam Rochelle. No, I mean he's a whale, bro. This guy, he knows what he's doing. He's pumping his own bag. He's pumping our bag at the same time. He's a G. Can't help but appreciate him. Um,
Hex is a scam, and if they can prove him wrong,
ooh,
they
thank you
get a
for
million
that.
dollars.
Appreciate it for appreciate that, King Hex. Yeah, no, the volume was actually a little bit low for you, so I went ahead and adjusted it. Let me know in the chat if everything is looking nice there with his volume. You guys should be able to hear him better. Um,
Oh, my bad.
and yeah, I actually have some
Is that on
talking
my end?
points that I wanted to talk about. No, you're good. It's actually on my end, so I wanted to make sure that was good. Um,
Gotcha.
Let me see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
actually,
bro.
I have some talking points here that I wanted to go over. Let me just bring them up. The first one was going to be Hextona, of course, talking about JJ Yelly. And then I had a couple other here. Where are they, man?
Take your time, bro.
Yeah, bro, I
Got
wrote
all
these
night.
out. Honestly, right? I have no rush. Let me see. I wrote them in my notes, but this shit is everywhere. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh my god, that's right. How could I forget that, bro? This is like the ad of the century. So I don't know if you guys saw it, but did you see the Coinbase ad on the Super Bowl?
I did not see it, but I heard about it, and then like Coinbase went down or something like that after
Yeah.
that.
All right. So this is this is the Coinbase ad. So this is literally, I don't know if you remember, bro, from back in the day,
Oh
the
yeah,
yeah, like
that's funny.
The DVD thing.
Yeah, where like if it hits the corner perfectly, type of
Yeah,
thing.
bro. Exactly. So yeah, they pretty much did this during the Super Bowl, and bro, hilarious, man. It got over. I think it was like 22 million hits, the most successful Super Bowl ad to date. Absolutely great from the Coinbase team, man. It was a really, really smart move on their part. I would have
Yeah. So what
imagined
was it
having.
exactly?
So all right, if
Like
you
they
go
just gotta
ahead,
scan it?
yeah, if you were to scan that QR code, bro, it would take you to if I'm not mistaken, it would take you to, I think it's to the Coinbase website, so you can actually sign up and do your whole like getting started process. It's
Oh,
a free $15 in Bitcoin
I just
if
scanned
you
it.
get started. Yeah, so it should take you to that thing, and which is freaking crazy, bro, because that was an amazing ad. I mean, that on Coinbase's part was a really really good ad. Shout out to them, they killed it with this one. They went ahead and they
Yeah,
crushed it.
that's dope. That's probably why it crashed, dude. That many people were, trying to use it.
Mm-hmm.
22 million hits. That's insane.
No, yeah,
And
I
there's
mean,
something here about winning $3 million or something. Pretty cool.
yeah, no, and that too. So there's actually like a giveaway going on. So if I'm not mistaken, if you become a part of the giveaway, if you're already a Coinbase holder, you do end up earning you do actually end up earning some opportunities for yourself, which is in this case that giveaway. So that's pretty cool. Let me
Oh
see.
yeah, dude. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man. Let me see. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Make sure we have everything going here. And yeah, let's do it. So back to it. Let's go back to Twitter. Let's keep talking about Hextona. So yeah, man. I mean, I think right now, if we go to, let me see. I think it's
Even
Hex.
Hex Toys official is making like a Hextona type of like toy or something, which is pretty
Yeah,
dope.
yeah, he is. I remember. I think that was something else. So I retweeted if I'm not mistaken. They had a website. What was the website? Do you remember the website?
For Hex Toys?
Not for
Or
Hex
for
Toys. Bad. Like this is it, right? This is the Hex
Yeah, yeah,
Toys
yeah, that's
toy.
the one.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, yeah,
That
Sai,
car is
the
badass, man.
founder. That car is badass,
That
bro.
car is badass.
I have a good feeling, dude. I have a feeling that like I mean, I don't know, just a feeling, right? I could be obviously wrong, but like everything's kind of lining up, you know? Like so I
The
think we
timing
might
is
see him
perfect.
place pretty well,
The
you know?
timing is perfect. Honestly, I think the
Yeah.
timing is perfect because like if you consider the timing post like post sacrifice phase, we're 4 days away from finishing our sacrifice phase for PulseX, right? Um, we're coming up on Daytona 500. What other big events do we have coming up?
I
Um,
mean,
they ha-
Liquid
they ha-
Loans is
they have
gonna
to
do their
announce the automated
sacrifice
marker.
phase.
They have to announce the automated marker maker bot, which when they announce that, we're just one step closer. They have to announce the DAO, which when they announce that, we're just one step closer. Um, they
Can we
have to
talk about that
announce,
real quick? The DAO?
yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't know too much about that to be honest, man. Like, do you have any
So,
information on that?
so from what I know, right, the the automated market maker bot, because this is the one that I'm a little bit more knowledgeable on, is supposed to do the whole thing with the liquidity that's provided on Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and then move it over to PulseX. That's the thing that I'm aware of. I'm personally not
Okay.
familiar with what the role of the DAO is in this entire thing, right? I heard there was a DAO that was coming out. I'm not sure what it was
By
for.
by Richard Hart?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was for. Like,
Oh, shit.
I know. Let's check out his Twitter because
Bro, if there's another sacrifice phase, man, like I'm done, bro. Like
nah,
I'm
I
just gonna
doubt it. I
I'm gonna
think the
take like
DAO is
weeks
gonna
off.
have some type of purpose. I'm pretty sure the DAO is a purposeful DAO. It has something. Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
It has something. It's doing something. I know for a fact it's doing something, but I can't put my finger on it. Let me see if
Yeah,
I
that's
can get it.
something I guess we got to do some more research on for sure. We don't want to give some random information.
Yeah, no, definitely
But
without a doubt. But I do know the DAO is something that is going to be a big. It is going to be a big part. I think it has something to do. I don't even want to say it because I'm not even. I don't even remember, man. But it definitely has something to do with PulseX, and they need it. Without it, they're not able to do something that's very important. And so that's
okay.
really one of the last things. And then of course finding out the sacrifice point amounts. That's pretty much the last thing that we have pending. But once we finish with that, we should be moving forward. Um,
Have have you checked your sacrifice points ever since you sacrificed on
sac
Pulse what is it?
on
PulseXlead.com?
PulseX, yeah, they're going up. Actually, no, they're going down a little bit, but not that much because at this point we're starting to slow down with the amount of people that are actually sacrificing because the rates are just getting pretty ugly, and nobody wants to sacrifice at these rates in comparison to what they were able to sacrifice for at the beginning. So
Yeah.
it's going down, but not as fast as it was when I first sacrificed because I think I was like a day one, day two sacrificer. And then, of course, you had everybody else that sacrificed after. So if you were to sacrifice after, more money's coming in, your numbers kind of getting changed. But more, I should be more or less around the 4 to 5,000th wallet on PLSX. if I'm not mistaken. In the top
Gotcha.
4 to 5,000, yeah, somewhere around there. So
Dude, last time I saw my sacrifice, I forgot about the bonus multiplier. I'm not gonna lie. And I saw it and I was like, ooh, because
yeah,
like I did not expect like that amount of tokens to be, like with that bonus multiplier, it was just so
having
nice.
more than a million tokens is still crazy to me, because it's like I
Yeah.
can imagine I don't even have $1 million. You know what I mean? Like a million in fiat liquid dollars. So like to have a million of something, it's funny. And then when that and that when that thing becomes $1 to $1 versus something else, like you
Even
have multiple millions of whatever you have, it's gonna
even
be a good day
pennies,
for
man.
you.
Like,
Even yeah, even half a
yeah.
cent. Even half a cent. I'm well off at half a cent. That's all I'll say.
Oh yeah, dude.
A half a
Yeah,
penny, I'm
for
well off.
sure.
Reward
I
yielding
just
token for PulseX. We got King Hex over here asking. Yeah, man. So the reward yielding token for PulseX, there's not really much information out right now. As far as we know, it's still being created. It has no name, but you will be receiving it when you stake PulseX. So when you stake your PulseX, you're gonna be able to receive that new incentive token. Um, the same way you were to receive it if you were to provide liquidity on PulseX, right? You're gonna receive it for staking your PulseX coin. So that's something that we do know. We do have that confirmed already. But now really we're just waiting for that to drop and for more information to be released. But there's really nothing else. Um,
yeah.
there's really nothing else out there that we know about that incentive token either. Like I said, everything is up in the air. We're not really expecting anything from the work of others, as we say, right? We're just really discussing it. But to be kind of uh, frank, like I think it's about time. Honestly, man, I think it's
Yeah,
about time.
man.
I'm ready for it to come out. I know a lot of people are. I know even a lot of the OG hexagons are really eager to see everything come out. But nonetheless, man, once again, no expectations. You feel me? Like that's just the best way to look at it. But but once the OGs are already starting to get a little impatient, you know it's about time, which is good. We got David
For
here.
sure.
David said, "Give me a .005 for PulseX, and I'm happy." I agree, bro. I think
Same.
everybody's happy with a .005. Knock off a
What do you
couple
think's
zeros.
gonna what do you think is gonna move quicker? Pulse chain, or PulseX?
Pulse Chain or PulseX? Just well, really Pulse Chain, because Pulse Chain is the overall ecosystem, and then of course we have the benefit of moving in with the full system state. So I think Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain just makes more sense. PulseX though, uh, it's weird. It's tough to say, bro, because we're launching Pulse Chain and PulseX on the same day, and PulseX won't. I mean, Pulse Chain won't, and either Pulse Chain nor PulseX won't have a value until it's on PulseX, right? And then of course you have to wait for the price to stabilize. So, um, it's gonna be very just new. Like you don't even nobody knows what to expect. Like we have zero clue what's gonna probably happen. Anything and everything is literally speculation, because we've never seen something launch with these specific properties, right? Like moving in full system state. You're launching the PulseX exchange, and you're launching the actual coin itself on that same day. Um, yeah, I mean, I
And
never got,
Hex?
yeah, and Hex. You're launching three things in one day. Um, who knows?
Well, I mean,
Who knows?
technically it's like a lot more,
Well,
right?
technically
Like
it's
it's
four.
the
Yeah,
whole
technically you're watching a whole Ethereum plus like four new things. Yeah, you're launching a lot.
yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
either gonna go really well or it's gonna go really bad. It's gonna be one of those like there's no in my opinion, I think it's either gonna kill or it's gonna just tank in the first couple like
Yeah.
because if it and I think it's gonna kill, like it's gonna do great just because of all the testing that's been done already. Like it's kind of obvious that it's gonna do good. But yeah, I think it's either a good thing or a bad thing because a lot of stuff, like a lot of things are launching, like freepulse.io,
Mm-hmm.
Mintra.io, liquidloans.io, Hedron. Um, I think there's another one called Maximus DAO. I
Maximus
think
DAO.
those
I've
are
heard
the
of
only ones I
Maximus
know
DAO.
about.
Yeah, we got a couple of things coming out. We have David here. David
Yeah.
says PulseX will do better than PLS in the short term. Check out K4K Crypto's vids on it and high level game theory. Yeah, we'll definitely check that out. I know K4K has some really good analytics, and he has
Yeah.
some really good videos on it. He's making some noise in the hex space already.
Yes, he got on like a
I
live
like it,
stream, I think
Picasso.
with Gerardo. Um,
For Mintra,
Not on Mintra, but actually, I think it was on. I think it was just like I'm actually not even sure. I haven't watched it just because like I haven't had time to catch up on all the live streams
Mm-hmm.
that happen. I feel like there's like 5 live streams a day from
From
so many
everybody, which
influencers.
yeah, I mean it's good, but it does get overwhelming.
Yeah, it's just a lot of content to watch, and they're each like at least an hour,
Everybody has their
But I def
people. One thing I do want to say though is that like, Cash Flow Amigos, bro, we're doing it different. I'm 24, right? I'm free to say my age. I don't mind. I'm not hiding myself, but I'm 24, and I know for the most part I resonate with people my age. And unfortunately, not many people my age are actually investing and doing the level of investing that we've taken advantage of at the age that we were at, and it's unfortunate. But I would definitely say, bro, like I'm here to represent the younger Hexicans, man. I'm here to definitely help out the people who aren't being taught this stuff, right? Like I know a lot of the Hexicans that are OGs right now, bro. They're adults. They were in real estate. They were doing things that a lot of people were in different places, but a lot of the ones that are right now most prominently speaking and doing this type of live stream, they were already like in either some type of investing, or they were already working jobs, or they already had like a general idea of where their life was heading because they already had their life kind of built out. This was just a plus, right? But for me, where Hex was like one of the first things that it came out, I really think that there's a lot more people out there who can have that story. Like, yeah, Hex was the first thing that I invested in when I first started investing. You feel me? Because it was our version of that safe place to put your money. Before, the safe thing to do was to go to work, go to school, right? Go get a good job, go retire from that job, live a happy life. Now, you're talking about investing in cryptocurrency, and you don't have to work a job for the rest of your life. So it's different stuff
Yeah.
going on nowadays, bro. And I really think that it's impactful for people to take advantage. It's impactful, and it's something worth people taking advantage of. That's the right way to say it. It's impactful, and it's worth something people taking advantage of, especially with the adoption rate that we've seen cryptocurrency have in comparison to everything else. I don't know if you've noticed that, Hexagon, but have you seen the adoption rate of cryptocurrency over cell phones, the internet,
Hell yeah, dude. It's getting
smartphones,
crazy for sure.
computers?
Like,
Bro, the
and
adoption rate is insane.
I'm on the same boat with you, man, on like trying to onboard people, of all ages really, but like specifically like family and friends, when I first saw Hex and like what it can do and I completely understood it and I saw the potential, I was trying to like get everybody on board, like
Yeah,
specifically my family. And this was when it was like like it wasn't even a penny yet. Um, and I was trying to get people in, and they just looked at me like I was crazy, like I was trying to sell them something, And like now it's like I was able to quit my job and still haven't touched my crypto, by the way. But it's like it gives you that freedom, like that mental freedom of like, okay, I don't necessarily need this 40 hours a week job anymore.
yeah.
Like I can believe in whatever I want to do and go for it pretty much, So yeah, man, 100%. It's like it's changing people's lives.
Hell yeah, bro. No, and I honestly I like it, dude. It for me. It's the right thing to do. And we're talking like I remember today we were talking about real estate. Like right before we got on this call, we were talking about like getting involved with real estate and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
dude, it's a mission and a half to get involved with these investment types that people consider, or really the world considers, as like some of the safest ways to invest and like to really cash flow out of your debt, right? Um, with Hex, it's a completely different story because the overhead isn't really required, right? All you need is enough Hex to start minting, to be able to start staking your own Hex. And once you get your T shares in and you're staked, you're set. You're earning interest, and then you just wait. There's nothing else to do, right? As opposed to like going about the whole real estate process, which is like something that I'm kind of going through right now, and that alone is like paperwork, fees. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it, just like anything else, like the same way there is with crypto. But like, there's so much more stuff to it, bro. As opposed to just coming
Yeah,
in,
that's true.
buying some Hex, staking, and then using
I didn't
your
really think
viewer.
about that actually, but
It's
that's
a
true.
simple way
It's
to
like,
invest, man.
yeah, and it sounds complicated when you first explain it to somebody, like to them it sounds complicated, like making a wallet, writing down your seed phrase. Like to them it sounds very complicated and like something brand new. Just because you say the word crypto or blockchain
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people started like they start getting like stressed out or anxious because you're saying those words. But it's like it's actually pretty simple when you like go down to it. That's a pretty good point. Like it's not that crazy
Yeah, as like a
complicated. You
first
just
investment, you don't have to, man. Like you don't really have to get too complicated. You really don't have to get too complicated at all.
especially with
And
Hex, dude. Like it's
especially
so
with Hex,
simple.
exactly. Hex is really really simple. And I think the more I forgot who I had this conversation with, but once because imagine the stake grab is already a perfect example. When you start to adopt, like adoption really starts to take that really like that exponential curve, like the exponential rise when people start using blockchain and they don't even know that they're using it, right? Like
Yeah.
imagine when it gets to not just the staker app being around, but when Hex gets big enough and multiple companies start making their own front ends or whatever for their own wallets, right? For Hex, and for PHEX or whatever they want to make it for, right? Um, and then you have all these different wallets, and they make it to where like you're using a Cash App or like a Venmo, right? And you just go in, buy some Hex, stake, you're done, and then you can just watch your
We're
interest be made.
we're definitely gonna see that soon, dude.
That's
For
gonna.
sure. Like
It's only a matter of time. Once that starts, because
especially
right now we're in the beginning. We're in the where Hex was complicated. It was hard to go to hex.stake.com, right? And then you have to go to hex.vision and check out all this stuff, blah, 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 right? Like in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, it's just going to become even easier and easier and easier to onboard. Because before we
especially
didn't
with
have
Pulse
all
Chain.
these videos, and we didn't have the
Like
website, we didn't have all this stuff. So as the years go by, I only see it getting easier and easier and easier and easier to onboard. And then imagine on top of as that becomes easier, we're making it more accessible with Pulse Chain. So now how we talked last time, right? We said Pulse Chain fees are going to be extremely low. Now we have people with $10, $5, $20 staking, right? That's where that real life changing, like exponential, massive amount of growth I think Hex is going to have is when people are able to start investing those 5, 10, 15, $20. Okay, it's almost like taxes, right? You know how in taxes the majority of the world, I think I forgot what it was, but it was like the majority of the US that pays taxes, like if you were to just charge one billionaire on taxes, it wouldn't cover as many as if you were to tax the whole bottom middle class, right? Like their percentage. So people say like, oh, tax the rich. And then if you tax one
right.
rich guy, it's like if you're taxing, it's better than taxing all the little guys. When realistically, all the tax money really actually comes from all the little guys putting in their money, like the $5 taxes, the $10 in taxes. Like all the little people putting in their money collectively turns into hundreds of millions of dollars. See what I'm trying to say? So this, I feel like that same principle is going to apply with Hex towards where the small investors are going to make up the majority of Hex holders. You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, I hear you.
because that it just starts to get displaced and more holders means um, means more people invested into the protocol. Who knows, man? Right? Like I think that would play
Yeah.
a role.
No, for sure, dude. I mean, only time will tell, right? I just know that like personally I'll be able to onboard so many more people now because my biggest um the biggest thing when I was onboarding people was I had them convinced on everything about Hex, right? And right when they're ready to pull the trigger on it, the gas fees just slap them right in the face. You know, it's like, okay, I'm sold on Hex. I want some Hex now, but I'm gonna try it out with $100, and I'm just like, well, that might cover the gas fee. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
so
Well,
it's a
here's one
yeah,
more
it
thing, right?
sucks.
Like in regards to like how I was saying, making it easier over time, and if we make onboarding easier, it will help. One of those things, and this is kind of leading off into the next thing I wanted to talk about. One of those companies that was actually helping us do that was Dharma. You remember Dharma?
Yep.
So for those of you who don't know, if you're watching the stream right now, Dharma is actually shutting down in the next 48 hours. So for anybody who has ever onboarded or used the Dharma wallet, just know that in the next 48 hours, Dharma is shutting down. They're going to be merging with OpenSea, and the Dharma onboarding system, wallets, and all that stuff is going to be no more. So if you have any money in your Dharma wallet, make sure you remove that ASAP, because Dharma unfortunately isn't going to be around any longer. And we actually did use that as a Hex onboarding system. I don't know if you ever used it. Did you ever use Dharma?
Personally, I didn't.
I
Uh,
downloaded it, but I never actually got it. I never actually used it. But if there is anybody out there who did use Dharma, just a heads up, Dharma's getting shut down in about 48 hours. So make sure you have no money in there.
yeah, I downloaded it too, and like it was pretty smooth, pretty smooth. The only thing with that I noticed was that it took like a couple days just to even like take your hex out of Dharma, you
Of
know?
Dharma,
So
not everything is perfect, right?
yeah,
not,
yeah,
not
that
everything
was
is
kind of the
perfect.
only downside, but I mean, it was pretty smooth, man. You know, I think you were able to buy it through like I think Polygon, right? On Dharma and ETH.
I think it was through ETH. Yeah, ETH. Yeah, it also had ETH capabilities as well. It also had ETH
Hmm.
capabilities. On to the next subject. So the next thing I want to talk about is crypto mountain investors. Bro, have you actually heard of crypto mountain investors before?
Yes,
Crypto
I
mountain
have.
advisors. Sorry.
Yes, yes, that's the one led by RG3, Kinetics, and Whales only, right? That's what you're
Yep.
talking about.
Yeah. So for those of you
That
who
is,
don't know, crypto mountain advisors is a Hexagon promoted crypto management company. So ideally, what these guys do is they help you through the not just the onboarding process of getting into Hex, but also the fiat, I guess, off ramping. Right, that would be the right term. The fiat off ramping um, of that investment that you've made into Hex and any other type of cryptocurrency, and doing it as tax efficiently as possible. It's a team of CPAs, accountants, just a massive team of individuals that are pretty much there for you to help you through your financial needs in the cryptocurrency space, security, and other things like that, right? Like making sure you have everything for your trusts. Uh, yeah, like pretty much, yeah, like pretty much stuff like that. Like your trust, your trust accounts are set up. You're making sure that your taxes are done correctly. This is what that team is for. And so, Crypto Mountain Advisors was a company that was offered to us a few days ago through a live stream that I was watching, and I couldn't help but be appreciative of the fact that this was actually being offered. Because I think a lot of people right now, what they're doing is they're just buying without any concern for what comes after the actual buying, which is like the management of that money. Okay, because a lot of people are making life changing money, man. I personally made it some life changing money. Hexagon, I know that you had your fair share of reward from it, having been able to invest early on to Hex. What do you feel like is so important, bro, about Crypto Mountain Advisors and what RG3 and the team at Discord Syndicate are really giving the Hex community right now?
so okay. This kind of like it's a little controversial right now in the Hex community, but
That's
I'm
why I
gonna
want to
give
talk
like
about it because I really do feel
yeah,
like
I'm
there's a
gonna give
lot of
my take
opinions
on
out
it.
there. And if you guys have an
Yeah.
opinion, make sure you type it in the chat. We want to hear from you guys too, what you guys think about Crypto Mountain Advisors. If you guys have any questions about them, let's go ahead and discuss it.
That's good I mean, that's good you brought it up in the first place, right? And when I first saw this, I got pretty pumped about it. I'm not gonna lie, just because I've been looking for something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was interesting to see that the hexagons that are pretty well trusted in the community were making something like this. And then um as I was getting pumped about it, right, I think I sent it to you and I was like, hey, you should check this
Yeah,
out,
you did send
right?
it my way.
Um, and so I started seeing Freddie Quotes talk about these guys being scammers, and it like just it got me thinking like, hey, maybe I don't know if he's right or he's not right, but it's worth looking into, you know? But going back to like what can we take out of all this, like MCA, crypto or Mountain Crypto Advisors, I think is like the actual video that they provided on YouTube. It
Mm-hmm.
was like an hour and a half or something. That's a very informational video, you know? So even if you don't use their services, like all the stuff that they're talking about, that's like some real stuff, you know? That's like real information that I didn't even know about or was even thinking about.
Yeah,
So I think the most important thing to take out of this is just do your research on it. You know, like
yeah,
don't put your money anywhere yet without doing your research. And you kind of like that's really like my take on it. I still haven't done my full research on it, so I really can't say like, oh, these guys are scamming people because I don't think they're scamming people. I think they're charging for a service, but we don't know whether, it's more valuable than something else that another service is offering, right? So like personally, I don't think they're scammers. I just think that a lot of the ethos of Hexagons or Richard Hart is like, don't pay for this type of service, don't trust anybody, verify, don't trust. Um, so I think that's why it's getting a lot of pushback, right?
Yeah,
So just do your own research on this stuff. Like I'm doing my research. Um, I'm not gonna pay for anything until I'm ready for it. So I think everybody should kind of have that same mindset. But also, don't knock it. I mean, you don't know until you actually
I
verify.
feel you. I mean, the way I see it is like most people are getting access to a lot of money now when they've never had any money before, right? And so where you lacked in wealth, you also probably lacked in the financial literacy to maintain that wealth and to keep it around for a very long time, and to preserve as much as possible. And I came from kind of like that setting too, where I knew only what I knew and not what I didn't know. And there's still a lot that I didn't know, and I think that's the main issue with anybody probably coming into something like Hex, which is the fact that if you get involved at the right time, you're more than likely gonna make a good amount of money, right? But when you make that money, what happens then? It's kind of like winning the lottery. What happens after you win the lottery? If you don't know how to manage the $100 million jackpot that you won, if you don't know how to keep safe all that money and actually have that money, stay for as long as you need it to stay, and maybe even continue to be around for generations to come. If you don't have the education to properly manage it, you're not going to probably have that money for long. And so it's the same thing with Hex, right? When you make money on Hex, if you don't have the proper education, if you don't have the proper people around you, that money's probably not going to be around for long, right? Because
Yep.
you're not stewarding your money correctly. And so I think this is what that is. It's really that guidance in stewarding your own money. And look, I'm gonna be honest, man. I've been studying finance for years now. And I'm at the point where like I feel like I'm educated, but there's still so much that I don't know, right? Like I didn't go to college to become an accountant, so I really don't know the specific ins and outs and technicalities to what an accountant maybe would know mathematically to be able to calculate all of my finances. But if I wanted to, I can learn, right? I can go on YouTube and I can figure this stuff out. I maybe don't know how to how the tax law works in my state, but if I wanted to, I can go on Google and I can figure it out. I think the biggest thing about this is like how Hexagon was saying, the fact that at the end of the day, you have the option to do it or not do it. And if you don't decide to do it, you have to be responsible enough to go out there and seek the information nonetheless. Because if you don't know what they're trying to provide you, right, then by you denying it, essentially you're hurting yourself. And then if you deny it and then don't go out and actually find a remedy to what you don't know, then you're hurting yourself twice, in my personal opinion. You're hurting yourself once on the way in, you're hurting yourself again on the way out, because when you offboard, you're not going to have those strategies, you're not going to have that knowledge to safeguard that money. And when, stuff hits the fan, what happens then? So I think it
Yeah.
really comes down to that. And being educated. Like if you don't want to, if you don't want, like that's my stance on it. If you don't want to take advantage of it, don't do it. But at the end of the day, like be responsible enough to go out there and figure it out for yourself. If you don't know tax law, if you don't know how to account, if you don't know financing, make sure you start doing a lot of research and you start studying on this stuff, because it's necessary. And when the time comes and Uncle Sam wants to collect on his debt, right, or on his taxes, and you don't have the fiat or you don't have the cash, you didn't know you owed these taxes, that's when it gets really sticky and unnecessary things have to happen. So imagine if, right, we put two hypothetical examples next to each other. There's an example where you cashed out $1 million in Hex, right, but through taxes you were able to but through taxes you maybe lost 30 to 40% of the value in that through mistakes in taxes, right? So let's say you really at the end of the day kept 600,000, as opposed to paying a fee with Mountain Crypto Advisors, right? Which I think their fee is what, like 8%, right? Something like that.
I'm not too sure. I heard it was 8%, but
Something like that.
might be wrong.
Something like 8%,
Yeah.
which of the million
Yeah.
would be 80,000. And then if they show you how to offboard it and tax it properly, you might not even have to pay any tax, or you maybe pay minimal tax. Let's say your overall leftover amount would be closer to 700 to $750,000. So you would have only a loss of about, not a loss, but like you would have about 25% less of the total value you started with. So to have at the end of the day, without knowledge, be left with 600K in your bag versus 200 versus being left with 750K in your bag with advice and with these guys on your side, what's the better trade off, right?
I think a lot of it too is just like knowing that the information is there and it exists and these services exist, and then it's just up to you to really do your research on which one you're going to choose. Shop around, and you kind of make the best decision overall. It's kind of what I'm doing. Like I'm gonna do my research on these guys, and you know I'm gonna do my research on other guys and see which one's better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
It's something that
But
everybody
yeah,
has to do, though. Everybody has to look into that. Everybody has to look into taxes, man, because it's just
for sure.
it's the
Yeah.
truth. It's the truth. It's the reality behind it, man. It's
Especially
definitely
if
the
you
reality.
sacrifice for PulseX and Pulse Chain, like you're most likely gonna like 100x your money.
Yeah.
Like
And the good thing
not
though is
financial
that the good
advice.
thing is with PulseX and with Pulse Chain, because they're sacrifices, we're also technically not taxed on those either.
That is
Because
that is very nice.
like we are taxed on when we off, like when we exit and we off ramp it, right? Like when we turn it back into fiat, whatever profit we generated from it. But because we sent it to an address and then we receive an airdrop, and then to my knowledge, airdrops aren't taxable until you cash them out onto fiat. Yeah, at least in the U.S., right? We're talking U.S. tax
Yep.
law.
Staking too is not taxable.
Staking
So if
either.
you,
So
yep.
it's looking pretty good for the U.S. right now, man.
Yeah, I'm
It's looking
I'm
pretty good,
I'm
which is
happy.
standard, and it should be that way. I think should be that way.
Yeah,
Should
it
it
should.
should be this way for sure.
Or go to Puerto Rico or Panama or
Yeah,
wherever you're gonna go.
shouldn't have to go these places to be able to get deals, but what
Yeah, I'm
you're
glad you brought them up though. Like I wasn't gonna bring them up just because of all the controversy, but I still think it's like good to talk about these
well, yeah,
options.
it's important because like you said, it's an option, right? It's an option for preserving as much capital at the end of the day as possible. Bro, let's be honest. Most people don't know what they're doing with money, right? Most people don't even know what they're doing with what they have in their bank account now. What happens with the money that's
Definitely.
going to be coming soon? That's virtual. It's just literally virtual currency. When it becomes real currency sitting in your bank account, what are you going to do then? I think everybody needs some advice, especially tax advice, because nobody's a tax expert. Literally, very, very rarely do you find someone who's a tax expert that doesn't do taxes. you know,
I gotta
so
say the guy on this video, like the video that I saw, the YouTube video on MCA, that guy seemed like
a
he
tax
really had.
expert. He's a tax expert. This guy knows his shit, which is what I'm saying. Like when you have people like that around you, it's like you're gonna learn off of them, and you're probably gonna benefit from being in that circle. You're probably gonna benefit from what that comes with. You know what I mean? From the conversations and from where that puts you. I don't know. I think sometimes you gotta maybe look at not so much what you're losing in the exchange, right? But what are you gaining from it? Because eventually it's not even about money. It's not like about how much it costs. It's about what value are you getting in return. If you're getting peace of mind, if you're getting
Yeah,
like
just learning how to
security,
strategize with your money.
exactly. If you're getting efficiency, if you're getting support, like is that not worth what they're charging? Like to not have to stress, to not have to
Yeah, no,
worry. I mean, it depends for everybody. Everybody's a little bit different.
I, yeah, I think that especially with all these tools coming out on Pulse Chain, like liquid loans, we don't know how it's gonna do, but it's a tool. PulseX, like being able to stake and just earn yield every day, like that can be used too, for passive income, whatever it may be. So just
Yeah,
learning how to use these tools with the laws and regulations in your country is like that's something that's important too. Like I don't know all the regulations in where I live, like that's stuff I need to learn, because I'm gonna be staking every day.
Yeah,
I'm
of
gonna be
course.
collecting
I'm still
every
staking
day,
as
so
we
it's like
speak. Like um, I'm still putting some more money into Hex. Still staking every day or every
nice.
month, right? Um,
You convinced me to stake my liquid hex just recently, actually.
yeah, I mean, I think it's
Uh,
the best. It's probably the smartest decision you can make right now. I mean, if we could probably talk about it for a little bit because we actually haven't talked about it all stream, but let's kind of go into it.
Hex
Um,
staking?
not well, yeah, we can talk a little bit about Hex staking. What I really wanted to talk about was where Hex is at right now, like
Oh yeah,
T-share
sure, man.
price and stuff like that. Let's see. We have over here Pulse Chain Resources, Apex.
Yeah, you're definitely very knowledgeable on TA compared to me, man. Like
Oh yeah, I
I
love
can
technical analysis. That's my stuff. All right, let's see. So right now, Hex price is at 19.5. One T-share is worth $4,000 US dollars. Um, Currently
I like
most of the USDC liquidity sitting on V3. Second hot biggest is V2 with 52 million Hex in liquidity. Then we have V2 ETH and V3 ETH with the smallest amount of liquidity.
What about
Um,
that hex stake from yesterday, man? You saw that?
oh yeah,
192
bro.
million or 194 million,
Yeah, that
something
Hex
like
stake
that.
was sick. I mean, yeah, he locked in some really he locked in a big amount of T-shares if I'm not mistaken. We can probably take a look at it, but he did lock in a lot of T-shares for a very long time.
Yeah,
Um,
roughly like 800,000 hex daily
yeah,
payout.
it was a lot.
That's insane. Like
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he did what? It was 100. How many million Hex was it?
at least 192 million in USD, and then it was like 149,000 T shares, which is around 800,000 hex per day in daily payout. For the next 15 years, if price stays the same, it's around $1 billion. Um,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's insane, dude. Like a
That's
billion
wild.
dollars in 15 years.
Yeah,
If price stays the same,
of course, of
price
course.
could literally not move, and this guy just
Nah, that's
that's the
wild.
cool thing about Hex. Like Hex doesn't the price doesn't really need to move for you to be winning on Hex. It's just designed to just you're gonna be winning whether the price is moving up or staying the same. Like obviously, if it tanks, then that's not a good thing. But it, history has proven otherwise with
Nah, I
the
agree.
10,000x.
King Hex says
So
stake the dips. Yes, stake the dips. It's very true. So it's like right now, right? Like, lowest we've hit as far as T-share rates go was 2,500. We had a bounce to about $6,000 a T-share rate, and right now we're at about 4,000. I don't think we're gonna see 2,500 again, but if we can hold 4,000, like somewhere around this level, that would be perfect. APYs are still holding strong at around 37.4%, about
that's crazy.
48%, about 38%, which is still amazing. And then day over day, we have new stakers coming in. I mean, pretty much every single day. Like the amount of current stakers goes down. I mean, goes down very rarely. One of the times of which was I think after the big payday.
Yeah, I mean that chart is
Yeah,
insane.
but other than that, I mean, it's like absolutely great. Like look at the adoption. The adoption is there. Over here,
Looks
Hex
like a
T-share
tsunami,
rates.
bro.
Yeah, Hex T-share rates are going up every single day. As you guys know, Hex T-share rates go up every single day. Hex daily payout rates steady at around 6 Hex per day. Um,
So
these are
for
the
people that
expiring
don't
Hex stakes.
know, you know, some people don't know really too much about T-shares. Um, like the T-share, pretty much you need a certain amount of hex to lock in a T-share, right? So if you're gonna stake, it used to be I think 10,000, right? If I'm not mistaken, the first like I
So at
think it was
first,
the
so from the very begin, from the very first day was 10,001
mm,
Hex. 10,001. Yeah, 10,001 Hex was the
it was
T-share rate.
literally a couple cents, right? At the time, like when it was 10,000, right? It was like
Yeah, this was like
probably like
around the Hex was like at I think it was like 30 cents per T-share right here, and then it
that's
dipped to
insane.
around 6 cents, and then it made a big move, really really big move, after that, and then I mean it's pretty much just kept going up from there to where we're at now, like around 4,000. This was after November. This was on November 20th, right after the big payday, where we had that hyperinflation. Automatically, T-share rates skyrocketed because of the amount of people that actually staked after big payday all their new hex, and then prices pretty much held from there, and we're still
For the
going up.
newcomers, for the new people in here that don't know about Hex or T shares, one T share is worth more than one Ethereum right now.
Yeah,
So
which is a really sick thing to say. Like the fact that the like yeah, I mean imagine
it's
like
insane.
yeah one T-shirt produces how much APY? It's 37.48. Well, in general, you're getting 37.48, but you're getting six hex per T-share. If you own one share, let's say you bought one hex share at $4 at 4,000, right? You're getting six per day. So you have them for 1,000 days. You're getting 6,000 hex plus appreciation plus penalty interest. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Some
you
people
feel
don't know
me?
about that
So
either.
yeah, people don't realize
So
you're not just getting hex from the inflation that's being printed, but you're also getting it from people getting penalized from end staking. So on top of that, you're also getting extra interest from those individuals. So the longer you stake, the more hex unstake interest you get. So the longer you have those stakes for, the more money you're going to be able to get, the higher that APY goes, because this APY is actually calculated only based on what that inflation, how many stakes are, excuse me, how many T-shares are available, right? Because that determines how much APY gets paid out to each individual holder. So, yeah,
yeah.
man,
Yeah, man. That like the Godwell, that guy is he's gonna be
stacked,
chilling for a
stacked,
while.
stacked, 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 and it's
It's
good stuff.
generational wealth.
It's really really good stuff. Like Hex is, like I said, Hex is doing very well. As far as like staying steady around these prices. What I do want to
And it
talk a
was
little bit about is the technical.
okay. Can I say something real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah, go ahead, of course.
Sorry to interrupt you. Um, like Hex was just designed really well too, right? So like for example, if somebody forgets about their stake, it'll bleed out into it'll bleed through pretty much. So like if you stake 1 million hex, you forget about it for 2 years, it's gonna start bleeding out, meaning it goes back into the ecosystem. Like it's not just gonna stay there forever, which is pretty
Correct.
cool. Like if somebody passes away and they were a huge hex whale and nobody was able to claim that, it's gonna bleed back into the system. That's
Yeah,
I think that's a really good design.
very good design. Means that pretty much everybody's gonna be able to have access to those coins again eventually. Because really, what the person is, if they don't unstake, is they're getting penalized for not unstaking. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
For not, or for at least not good accounting, better said. Which is just kind of like saying, "Hey, my stake is over," and now you're removing it from the system,
It's like a
and then making those
two
T
week
shares available.
period.
Yeah, because I think what is it that you're not? So essentially, you're keeping those shares locked up, so you're not providing them back into the market, so you're being penalized for it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. And so yeah, guys, right now, as you guys can see, we had our accumulation phase at around 19 to 17 cents last in the last. So I want to say this was about a few weeks ago. We made local highs back at around 22 cents, and now we are testing our resistance that was broken over here at 19 cents once again. Can we hold this price? That's the biggest question. Or are we going to dip below and test 16 cents again? That's the question of the hour. Where are we going to go? We do not know. From the 3-day time frame, it does look like we are showing bearish momentum. We have closed 1, 2, 3 candles towards three-day candles with like bearish sentiment. And as we kind of go from candle to candle, as you guys can see, we are increasing in volume and in candle length. So this is kind of showing us that like the overall direction is probably going down. We haven't really made any highs. I mean, for the most part, we just kind of like had a nice rejection of 28. We rejected 25. We rejected 22. Came over here, didn't even tap into this demand zone. We just simply rejected it twice before even going up. So everything is pointing down right now for Hex personally. Unless we have some type of crazy move, maybe. But on a 3-day time frame, everything is pointing down. And on a weekly time frame, if by the end of the week we close below this weekly closure, so I'm just going to do this here. We're going to set this up sideways, and we're going to put here text 1W to stand for 1 week, right? What I want to know is, will market price close below that? What market price close below that 1 week line? If it does, then we're more than likely going to probably keep pushing below. If we can hold that 1 week line and continue to move up, that would be great. As you guys can see, I have multiple lines here, right? So this line, which is this resistance line, we have this line, which is this 1 weekly line, and then of course we have this line, which is the breakout line. So there's a lot of attention around this area, right? There's a lot of attention around this area. It's not like this is a way of setting up the market, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of attention here. This is a very big deciding place. We can either see the market fall aggressively, or we can see it with a lot of volume make it back towards the next demand zone. But we got to see how those weekly candles close. And me personally, if I was, bearish, I would be selling, right? Why? Because of the way that the market is setting itself up. But because we're hex holders and we know what we know, I'm only buying. So I'm buying more hex. It only makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's good to point out
because here's the thing. Before we get into it, right? The reason why overall I'm still bullish is because we broke trending structure. We were forming higher highs as we were kind of moving up from our lows. Higher high, higher high, higher high. We formed our high. Then we started to form lower highs, lower lows, right? Lower highs, lower lows. Here we formed our lowest low, but then we broke structural highs and created a higher high next to our lower high. Now we're changing structure. We create a low, and now we're looking for another higher high to obviously change the overall direction of this market. But with this specific run from this low to this high, we broke structure. We should be seeing market reverse and move in the direction we want to see. So let's see what's up.
The reason I'm bullish right now is because the whale started moving his funds around.
Yeah. I see King Hex said whales keeping price down to the end of the sacrifice phase. Why do you think that is, whales? What do you think that is, King Hex? Why do you think whales are doing that, man? What's your opinion on that? How about you, bro? You have an opinion on that, Hexagon?
That whales are keeping the price down?
Yeah. Do you have any opinion on that? You said something about whales were moving price, like moving around hex or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just talking specifically about the God whale. Like,
yes,
that guy, he literally staked 192 million for 50 years.
Yeah, no, that's boss, bro.
I wonder what he's gonna want to do next, And some people say that that's Richard. I don't know, man. Like, it's
that God whale.
I don't think it's him, bro, because he just didn't have that much ETH when Richard got into Ethereum. I think he was kind of late, right?
Actually, I'm not sure. I think no. I think he did get into ETH pretty early.
Well, from what I've seen on his live streams is that he didn't like Ethereum at all when it first launched, and then he actually ended up like being pretty mad at himself because it ended up doing better than his Bitcoin investment. But you never know. I don't really care who the Godwill is.
Yeah, I don't really care.
It's just kind of,
to be honest,
speculation. But the fact that he's been moving, like the facts here is that he just staked 192 million for 15 years, and even if he decides to emergency end stake that, like, which I don't know why he would,
we get a massive payout.
That payout.
I really hope he doesn't for his sake, but for our sake, I'll take it.
It's just a win-win all around, and
take it. It's a lose-win for him. Yeah, there's no way he wins out of it.
I think that King Hex has a pretty good point though. Like, I think whales have been suppressing the price because they're the ones that really move the price at the end of the day. Like, I'm not gonna move the price. You're not gonna move the price. Like, So it's got to be this whole pulse chain ordeal.
Yeah.
Um,
So I like King Hex's theory. So this is something I've actually heard about before. Um, and it's like it's about them protecting their position for PulseX. And so what I heard, and I think it makes a little bit more sense now. Um, and I don't know if you remember this. If we can tie this into the theory that I had when when the pulse chain sacrifice happened. Um, and so remember how I was telling you how about 42 days after the pulse chain sacrifice was when price rallied back up, and then we started to make higher highs.
yep.
So now I kind of calculated the same 42 days, but the 42 days haven't happened yet, right? Um, I'm
When
sorry,
are we gonna hit
I
45 days?
calculated the 42 days, but the result after the 42 days hadn't happened yet, which ideally I thought was going to be equal a test of the highs that we reached, right? Which in this case is like 34, 35 cents. But then I start to think now that King Hex mentions it, right? One, the pulse chain sacrifice was significantly shorter, right, than the PulseX sacrifice phase.
Yep,
And then
it was.
two, during the first PulseX sacrifice phase, we saw a 60% drop. From what I heard, this first drop was because whales wanted to place their sacrifice in hex for pulse chain, and then in order for them to get the highest sacrifice, they actually dumped price in order for nobody who had a big hex bag to out sacrifice their stake in hex value, right? So if someone wanted to stake more than them, they would essentially have to take a bigger hit on their stake on their hex sacrifice if they were going to sacrifice their hex whales in this specific example. Now over here, same exact thing is happening. We saw the dip in market price, but we also have the fact that now the PulseX sac phase is actually lasting almost twice as long as the pulse chain sacrifice did. If I'm not mistaken, I think the PulseX sacrifice days was only like 19 days, right? It was the
Yeah,
first
it
5 days,
only.
and then it was 15 days after. And then we saw the rally. Our sacrifice phase is ending in 4 days. So it's very interesting. I think the next 4 days are going to be very telling of what can possibly happen with this market. And more than likely, I think the market is going to go up. I do think we have some demand here, especially in these zones after breaking out and coming back and testing. I do think we have some demand. But like if we kind of look at it, right? Let's do that. Let's do that real quick. So from this day, 19 days after, boom, right here. Look at that, day 19. Look at that jump in volume, right? A few days after. So maybe will we see something like that around what, day 50? What is it, day 50? What's the last day for the PulseX sec?
It's in 4 days, I believe,
In
or
four
on
days.
I think it's on the 25th actually.
So we're
Or
talking
I don't
So
even.
we're probably talking Monday UTC,
I don't even know
which
what
is
day
like
we're in
seven
right now.
o'clock Sunday. So 7 o'clock on Sunday would be the last day. EST.
Yeah, so there's still a good amount of days left. But
Yeah.
I mean,
But what happens after that, right? Because remember, my theory was the 42 days, but this was 42 days with only a 19-day sack period. Here, we're talking 42 days with a 50-plus day sack period. So what would be the next thing to kind of take at? All right, well, if this ended 19 days after, right? So we'll talk about when it ended now instead of when it started. So 19 days, the day was, okay, so it started from here. So price started from here, and then price went to highs at around here.
I'm with you on that though.
It took
I think
23 days to recover. So if our day ends, let me see. We'll put here date and price range. So if we end here 4 days from now, so that would be the 20th would be, let me make sure real quick.
and if you could give everybody like your price prediction, I think that'd be pretty cool. Like I'm sure everybody wants to hear some price predictions. It's always
2020.
fun.
Yeah, bro, let's do it. So on the 20th, right? So on the 20th, let's assume it's at 19 cents. 23 days after that. So I would say price prediction 23 days after, an 82% increase in price right there. That's my
What's that?
prediction.
I can't see it through my screen.
Yeah, so
I'm
82
like blind.
you're good. 82% yeah, 82% jump in price. We're going to probably test 35 cents on March 16th, 2022. That's my prediction.
35 cents March.
35 cents
Okay.
by March 16th or March 18th. No, March 16th. Yeah.
That's pretty realistic though.
It
I
is
like that.
realistic, right? I
Yeah.
think it's realistic too.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But the
And
idea
like
is
Pulsing will probably be
coming back to
launching
all-time
after
highs.
that.
Hopefully, right? Because at that point we would already be in March, and then if Pulse Chain launches, I mean, bro, I could imagine where we're at.
Yeah, and especially if Richard gives an exact date of when Pulsing is gonna be or is gonna launch, um, that's really gonna move price. It's gonna get insane just because of the copy, right? Everybody wants that.
Nah, yeah, it's gonna be
Everybody
sick,
wants
bro.
that. It's gonna be insane. Yeah, if he gives, and I'm sure he will, because he knows it. If he gives a day on when Pulsing is gonna launch, we're gonna probably reach a new all-time
Let's
high, in
see,
my
man.
opinion.
I'm really excited for it. Uh, but yeah, with that being said, guys, we've already been streaming for an hour. It is a little bit late on my end. We're pushing 1 a.m. I do want to say
Oh,
thank you
geez.
for everybody who is joining us today. We do want to keep doing these as consistently as possible for you guys to keep giving you guys as much value as possible. But if you want to continue the conversation, you guys can continue it on cashflowamigos.com. If you go ahead and you click on the Discord section, you guys will be able to join our Discord server. And if you click on the Become a Member section, you guys can go ahead and become a member and access a bunch of free content by myself that nobody else has access to, only members. So hopefully you guys can go ahead and enjoy that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My name is Kevin. We were joined today by the Hexagon. Really want to say a big shout out to him and thank you to him, bro, for being available and
Thank you,
coming
man.
on board with us. And hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much. Hexagon, you want to go ahead and say your goodbyes?
Yes, good night, everybody. It's not that late for me, man, but damn, 1 a.m. I forgot we're in
Yeah,
like completely different time zones, so I appreciate
Eastern
you.
time frame, boys.
Yeah, I appreciate you going this late, bro. Sorry,
All
I
right,
had
bro.
like a couple things going on today and got in a little bit late, but
I love,
yeah,
bro.
we're definitely gonna be doing some more of these. We got some cool guests on, you know,
Yeah, I
that
want to
are
get
probably
more
gonna come
people
on.
on. Right now, we're just doing me and the Hexagon because, of course, we're still, our first couple videos in. We want for you guys to get to know us and whatnot. But we do want to definitely have more people on, and that's already getting booked as it is. So we actually started doing these about a week ago, and we will be having more people on in the next few weeks. We already have, people from the Staker team that are going to be available to come on with us. We have local Hexagons that are actually going to be joining us, sharing us their story, and giving us more details about how they found out about Hex and what they're doing to protect their bag and, investing in the future. And yeah, it's a lot of exciting stuff, man. And once again, this is really to help and inspire people our age, the millennials, the generation Z's or the generation Y's, right, of the world that are out there, looking for a way to come up and to financially set themselves up for the future. I'm really grateful that I was able to find this. I hope that this can go out there and touch the lives of a lot of people. But yeah, man, I really do want to curate that culture for the youth, for people our age, people in their teens and their early 20s. To start investing and really focusing on the future, man. So really excited about this movement. That's the mission for Cashflow Amigos, and we're with it to the end, man. We're going to see it through. I want to say thank you once
Yeah, I love
again,
that.
guys. I appreciate y'all, and we'll see you on the next one.